Hi everybody, this is a blue and black control deck based around the Enigma Jewel. Kind of been waiting around a little bit to try this card out and kind of been obsessed with it for the last couple of days. So we've got a lot of standard control cards in here, a lot of targeted removal on the low end here. We've got some interesting 3-drops. We're trying to play a few more permanents in this deck since that's what the Enigma Jewel likes to pick up. The nice thing about having all these permanents and planeswalkers as we kind of progress up our mana towards 6 and 7 is that they're all great on their own. Without the Enigma Jewel, this is a fine Dimir control deck. But then once we get up to around 7 mana or so, the Enigma Jewel comes in and takes over and makes itself into a really handy planeswalker style thing on the board, and then lets us just copy all of our other activated abilities from our other planeswalkers that we might play in the future, our other effects like Demolition Field, and it just provides so much value. Really kind of reminds me a lot of Arcane Bombardment, except we're focused on permanents this time. So I had some really fun games with this deck, so let's go see a few of them over on the ranked standard ladder. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. So we've got the Enigma Jewel straight away. Not sure that this is the right build, but we're going for it. I had another version of this deck actually earlier, kind of full disclosure, that used the Collector's Vault with the Enigma Jewel. Opponent's starting off with a Blood Tithe Vampire for us here. So the great thing about the Vault, as we play our underdog, is you kind of build up, you ramp up a little bit with the treasure that it creates, and you get to draw through your deck and put good things into the graveyard for the jewel to use later. But I don't know, having... yeah, we'll take that trade. Opponent attacks here with the vampire. We'll block that all day long. Plays a Preacher of the Schism. Okay. Well, not much we can do about that. Opponent probably going to be able to draw off of that. Do its thing. We do have a Confounding Riddle in hand. Let's hold on to that rather than play out the jewel. Anyway, what I found with decks that use the Vault is usually you're kind of in a 4 of Vault, 4 of Enigma Jewel situation, which kind of dilutes the effectiveness of the rest of your deck. So it was really fun, but it when it failed, it really failed. All right, we're going to Confounding Riddle here and try to fill up our graveyard. Opponent's played a few things out this turn. Let's see. I think if we take Riddle here, that puts 3 permanents into the graveyard, and that should get our Terror Tide up to where we want it. Let's see. Yes, good. Always scares me when it takes that long to update on the actual card itself. But let's fire off a Terror Tide here that will wipe our opponent's board. Surprisingly easy, actually, to get Terror Tide up to where we want it to. I was kind of looking at it during spoiler season. I was like, oh, good, a Black Wrath. Oh, but nah, that's going to be impossible to do in a lot of my spell slingery decks, but, you know. Got to try out some different things. Let's play Sorin. Our opponent just made a Harvester and nothing else at 4 mana. We'll just make a token. They might have some removal here for it, but that's kind of okay. The great thing about this deck is, as we work our way up towards Enigma Jewel, well, they do have the cut down for us. As we work our way up towards the Jewel, which takes about 7 mana, it doesn't really matter if we lose our Planeswalkers. We can play them out to the board, get some use out of them. If they die, great, I kind of want them down there anyway. So Sorin gets attacked down by the Harvester. And we draw Shipwreck Marsh. All right, let's play out the Marsh. Let's play Teferi here. Just to make sure there are enough things in the grave for our Jewel. And I think what we want to do is draw. So as we saw with the cut down, they're probably going to be able to remove any token we make. And this puts Teferi a little bit out of reach of the Harvester. We'll get that Jewel down on board. So if we get untapped land... Ooh, they hit it with the Carnosaur, not Harvester. Harvester's already here. So yeah, you need 9 mana to craft with the Jewel, but since it pays for itself a little bit with its 2 mana ability, you need 7 lands or 7 mana sources otherwise. So Teferi gets attacked down after getting hit by the Carnosaur, the channel mode. Tell you what, let's get this underdog going and let's draw a little bit. So we don't have quite enough permanents in the graveyard yet with activated abilities, which is semi-frustrating. Let's see, yeah, we don't have enough. I think we're one short, so maybe we can use this riddle this turn to put some more things in the graveyard. Opponent with a harvester coming over. Nope, decides against it. All right, let's use this riddle, try to fill up that grave a little more. There we go. So let's take Teferi. We can put Kaito in the yard. Let's see, we'll play out. Yes, island. And now I think we're in a good window here to try and flip this jewel. I'm worried the opponent might be having holding on to an abrade as we submit all 4 of these permanents from the grave. The jewel can take stuff from play, which I have to remember sometimes. I always kind of forget that part of it, but all right. So the jewel, super weird. You can select from all the abilities that are under it that are activated. We're just going to draw a card. The locust then copies that ability. If we had other things on the board, we could copy those. But yeah, kind of like a planeswalker. If you use one of the loyalty abilities under the locust, opponent discovers into a deep cavern bat. So yeah, like a planeswalker, if you use a planeswalker ability after you've crafted with the jewel, you can only use one of those each turn. So it will copy that ability, but only one planeswalker ability can be used. So that's why you kind of want to... It's been a tough balance for me to figure out anyway of other things with activated abilities. Let's get Teferi down on board. Try to do some tricks here with the locust. So we'll go create a token. The locust creates a second token, copies that ability basically. We will draw with what's under the locust. That's 2 more cards and a bunch of triggers for Teferi and his crew. We pick up Invasion. There's Demolition Field. All right, let's just pass it here. We've got Blot Out and Go for the Throat in hand. That feels pretty good. And our spirits are just set to keep on growing here. Opponent's got Anoint with Affliction for our spirit token. Okay. No, I think we're still set up pretty well to block here. Opponent sends the bat and sends everybody over it to Teferi. Well, I'm good with that. We're going to block the Harvester with the token. I'm going to do Go for the Throat on the Appraiser. We'll let him keep the bat for now because I don't care about Jace, and the opponent scoops it up. Good game. All right, this looks good. Actually able to run slightly fewer lands in this deck versus something like a Bombardment or a straight control version, because a lot of the early Planeswalkers and the early cards that we play can actually kind of draw us into lands a little more naturally. So I think I'm at 24 or 25 lands versus like 26, 27 where we might be otherwise. Little tweaks that you might notice. Got a free Jetmir here from the opponent. That's nice. Although that means, yeah, opponent's on tokens, which, unless we draw into one of the 3 tides that are in this deck, we're in trouble. Let's see what else you got for me. Reinforcements, sure. Don't really need the lands. This deck really, to do its normal business, just kind of needs 4 and 5 mana. And then we've got a few copies of the Jewel in here for the late game. We don't run a full 4 like some other decks I've seen. So we're going to play out Jetmir here, let our opponent try to deal with that. And if they don't, we've got a really solid blocker for at least the next few turns until they find something. Oh, Gallic Readers. That's going to provide some good value off of that wedding announcement. Okay. Jetmir, let's see, we need 3 for the first ability. Played a little with Jetmir, but not enough to remember all of the thresholds it needs to meet for its abilities. Let's get Teferi going here. We'll make a token. If they couldn't remove Jetmir, they're not going to be able to remove this token. And hopefully we can get that token big enough we can just keep swinging away every turn. Queen Alanal. That's a lot of token production on this board. And the queen's just getting bigger and bigger. Alright, Galagreeters. Doing its business. We draw land number 6. Let's see what else Teferi can find for us here. Okay. Well, Terror Tide is still at 0, so we kind of need to get some things in the graveyard. I think if we can wipe the board with it, though, that will take care of the large queen over there. Opponent's got Rabble Rousing, so they're going to hide something away. So if they've got 10 on board after the trigger, that's what plays the free card. So let's try to trim this down with some of our direct removal. Let's go for the throat on the queen. And Sheoldred's Edict now, since that's probably going to be less useful later on. Luckily, that lets us surgically remove the Galagreeters from the board, and they only have 4 tokens left, so they're not going to get that hideaway trigger. We're not going to get the free card trigger. An opponent decides not to attack. Okay. Let's flash out these stolen reinforcements. Get another token. Draw a card. So Trample is at 6 creatures. Alright, let's draw a little bit more. Okay. Might want to play out this Blast Zone, actually. Yeah, let's do that. So, one... Sorry, I just realized we had Vigilance. We're definitely swinging in with this board. Opponent tries to trade with Jetmir. Let's use our Go for the Throat here. And that's some even further trimming of our opponent's board. So focused on the trample, forgot about the vigilance there for a second. What was I saying? Yes, so one of the ways that this deck can put permanents into the grave... Oh, come on, opponent. Another Rabble Rousing. Is we can use these lands, Demolition Field, Blast Zone, and as we kind of normally use them to take care of our opponent's creature lands, that's just one more permanent we can put into the graveyard on our end. Cabaret Charm. Opponent attacks, so gets 2 Rabble Rousing triggers. Puts them up to 8 creature tokens in all, but only 2 coming at us right now. Let's use Jetmir and Teferi to keep that population low. Alright, and I think what we want to do... is just sacrifice Blast Zone. I don't think I have time to get it up high enough to where I want it to be. And I'm just trying to build up a Terror Tide right now. Let's see, so if we do Demolition Field now, let's hit that one. So that's 2 permanents in our graveyard, right? Yes, we will take action. Grab an island. So now Terror Tide's at 2. So if we do this, that hits all of our opponent's tokens. We lose the stolen reinforcements. And I think I want to make another token here. We can just keep hammering away. Oh, but... Did I miss lethal there? I might have missed lethal there. No, that only would have been 1 extra damage. They would have been at 1. It's fine. Okay. All right. Thievery for the win. Good game. All right. Well, I'd love to see that in my opening hand. So we don't have a Jewel, but we do have Confounding Riddle. And, yeah, Blot Out has actually been out for a little while, but I started putting it in this deck after my initial version because there are just so many things that need to be exiled right now in Standard. The format's a little too big. Let's make sure our opponent can't ramp too hard. We're going to take out that creature. Actually can't wait for rotation, so even though we're going to lose Bombardment, I'm kind of ready for a smaller Standard environment. let's pass it on over here. Keep up Blot Out and Confounding Riddle. Opponent's going to be playing dinosaurs this we can tell. And do we counter that? No, I think we just let it go. So its toughness is low enough we can probably catch it in a tide if we cast this Confounding Riddle for a card. It does mean we're going to take a little damage here. Let's go ahead and Riddle now. Okay, so we see 3 permanents and another tide. I think I'm going to take the second tide, actually. So this is the perfect Terror Tide number. We're going to be able to wipe our opponent's board of these 2 creatures and buy us a little more time to dig our way to the Enigma Jewel, play some of our other stuff out. Okay, there's the Jewel off the top. Opponent with nothing that last turn, so might be sitting on some creature removal. Let's play out a land. Let's go Kaito. And we will make a creature.
Powerful won't help. I'll do it myself.
And let's play out Founding. I actually had 4 copies of this in a previous version of the deck, but I find 1 is just useful enough. It's kind of where I want it to be. And I think, yeah, let's start on Chapter 1. I know I don't have any spells to cast, but I want to give our opponent a couple of turns to build their board back up so that we can reuse a Terror Tide with the Founding. And they don't know we have the second one in hand either, so that's nice. And it's got a Rampaging Raptor. So that is hasty and tramply. Well, no blocks there. Kaito, normally just good, even if you don't have a creature on board. We're going to mill ourselves, try to get some permanents down there for the Jewel. Good. Looks like we hit a few. But yeah, even if you don't make a ninja with Kaito, just the draw and discard is pretty solid. Let's exile their Raptor. Let's go attacking. And I feel like we're in a good spot. Let's do the attack and just the straight draw with Kaito. Let's get Enigma Jewel down. Alright, opponent plays a tap land. Ooh, passes it on over. So Founding's going to let us cast something. Can I submit 0? No, I have to exile something. I don't know. I kind of want to do other things this turn. Let's just exile a Go for the Throat and just not cast it. Yeah, you know, kind of a waste, but I wasn't really expecting no further creatures from our opponent. All right, so let's see. Permanents. 1, 2, 3. I think I'm 1 permanent short of activating the Jewel. 1 non-land permanent anyway. Let's go attacking with the Ninja. And let's just draw with Kaito here. All right, still can't activate the Jewel. Still not enough permanents. All right. It's worth a try. Actually, I think I'm a mana short. Never mind. All right, let's counter this, and then we can probably... Wait, why is it asking... Can that not be countered? Why is it... There's no ability on there. Am I going crazy? Yeah, well... Oh, I am going crazy. Opponent's got Cavern of Souls in play. Wow. Oh, the comments are going to love that one. Arena was even trying to help me with that. That's super embarrassing. Arena's like, hey, dummy, are you sure you're casting that spell correctly? I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? Okay, we get a mana creature off of this Siphon Insight. We've got Terror Tide for this board, which will hopefully make up for that mistake. Let's at least get in with the Ninja here first. Draw. Another land. All right, well, it's got to be tied. I think I've heard that somewhere before. Let's wipe this board. And yeah, just end it, I guess. Oh, man. Well, that shows you I'm not a modern player. I'm not on the lookout for Cavern of Souls. I think that one's a little more popular in that format. Oh, boy. All right, opponent attacks down Kaito here. Let's see what else we can siphon. Give me a big dinosaur. Oh, mana creature. Mana creature, of course. All right, nothing but lands. Plenty of them. I think... Let's take a look here. Let's go for it. Going to craft with the Enigma Jewel. We're going to grab Kaito as the 4th permanent. We're going to have to use 2 Gixes out of the yard, and we've got Vraska down there. All right. Let's play out Lorekeeper as a blocker in case we need it. And then... Let's see. We'll do the plus ability from Kaito rather than the Vraska one. We discard a land. And let's discard another land. We've got an Edict in hand that we'll have to wait on. So the Kaito ability puts a loyalty counter on the Locust. And maybe we can proliferate that up with Vraska as our opponent removes our stolen mana creature. We've still got that Restless Ridgeline, though. Luckily, nothing else to go with it, as that attack brings us down to 8. Follows up with another mana creature. All right. Well, we're in another situation where we have a ton of mana. Let's go Demolition Field and take care of the creature land. That's going to give us a couple of lands, and we can hit this Cavern of Souls, looking stankily at you. And we'll pull up a land, and we get to pull up another land. This just makes Demolition Field so much better. Yep, we'll take that. All right, so now we should have enough mana. Yeah, let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, I think we're fine. So, and I think we can do this as well. Yeah, hold on. Let's do the more fun one first. It's going to take all of our mana. Well, actually, we can discard more if we draw first. Yeah, okay. Got it sorted out. It's going to cost us a couple of life. We get to put more counters on our Blast Zone and our Locust, which is nice. And then, because this isn't a Planeswalker ability, yep, we're going to be able to activate Gix, who is sitting happily under the Locust, and choose 3 cards. Discard Deluge, Edict, and Island. And so... Now, oh, and that gets copied with the Locust, so this is going to happen twice. Ooh. Itali, we'll play that for free from our opponent. Oh, wait, we get to play all 3? Yeah, we're doing that. All right. Well, I've been looking for dinosaurs this whole game with a Siphon, and now we finally got some. Itali finds a Sorin. Well, I guess we'll play the Frill back. I mean, might as well put the Underdog on board here, too. Okay. And now the second trigger happens. Another copy of Itali and a Belligerent Yearling. Well, we'll play the Yearling. Let's play Itali just for the trigger. We will keep one of those. We get Triumphant Chomp and Jace off the top. Let's chomp that mana creature. And might as well play a little Jace. Fantastic. And we still have to use Sorin here, so let's make a couple of tokens with that. And might as well go a milling with Jace twice. All right. All right. Am I making up for the Cavern of Souls punt yet? I think we're doing okay. All right, we've got one hasty creature. Let's attack our opponent down to 15 and see if they can get out of this one. Cavern of Souls, naming dinosaur. Triumphant Chomp on the Yearling. And finally, Itzquinth. baby Gishath dinosaur. I suppose that could fight. But the thing it can fight is the underdog, which can just come back anyway. We've still got 14 trampoline points of damage, plus these flyers on board, so I'm no math whiz, but I think we got this. Opponent might be getting a little salty over there. Hello, gotta press the button, opponent. All right. Yeah, it looks like they're over there. They're just making me wait for it. All right. Well, let's go attacking. Well, we finally got priority back here. All right, well, we came back for sure. Good game. All right, we're going to keep this despite having only swamps. Only swamps. We can cast Jace for 1 blue if we do get it. Well, there's one way to get it, Demolition Field. Let's use March on Skrelv here. A couple of copies of March in this deck to dig us out of our predicament that we find ourselves in, usually against mono red, where we're low on life, we're starting to come back, but then they just burn us off the top. So nice to be able to have a good X spell, gain a nice 7 life. Play out Gix just as a blocker here. Don't really care if he goes to the grave. One thing I love about playing all these permanents in this deck. Opponent looks like they've got something. A Skrelv's Hive. Okay. So we have a few board wipes in here in the Terror Tide. No enchantment removal, though. So let's draw with Gix. Really want to play Invasion here, but we can't. Let's get Demolition Field and Sorin going. And let's make a token with Sorin just to block. So if we can manage the poison counters that we have, that's going to be one way to kind of combat the Hive. Oof. Opponent got the Annex Sentry. Exiles the token, never to return. And yeah, they're going to be able to attack down Sorin with that double striking Duelist. Alright, well, there's an untapped blue source, finally. What is the best here? Yeah, let's try to go with Invasion. It's going to make our opponent discard. It's going to give us the draw, fill our grave up a little bit for hopefully a Terror Tide at some point. Come on, Tide. And yeah, no attacks. Let's try to control this poison counter thing. Ooh, Charge of the Mites. That takes down Gix. We're going to get hit several times, up to 4 poison counters. All right, well, that plan's kind of off the table. Let's play regular underdog. Wait a minute. No, let's play Gix. And then play regular underdog. Save us 1 life point. The way the auto tapper, I think, was going to do that. A second Skrelv's Hive from the opponent. Yeah, that's not the greatest. All right, at least we have some blockers now. Let's block the Duelist and a token. At least get those off the board. We get hit twice, so we go up to 6 poison counters. Another Skrelv's Hive. Opponent's got 3 hives. All right, let's play Marsh. Yeah, let's try to get this battle going. So the Mite can't block. Let's try to flip this Invasion. And I kind of think we just take their Rot Priest. There's a non-zero chance that we can poison them out of the game instead. Yeah, let's just pass. We might also be able to catch them with this Restless Reef, activating that and blocking the Annex Sentry, which is annoyingly sitting at 4 toughness. Ouch, they've got Charge of the Mites, plenty of creatures, so that's 6 damage on the Rot Priest. Alright, well, we're on the board with poison counters. Opponent comes across with 3. Let's go Restless Reef. And we will block the Sentry. Drop to 11. We're up to 8 poison counters. Alright, go for the throat, the draw. Alright, let's play Jace. We'll play cheap Jace. And then, kind of want to draw here. Let's mill ourselves. Sorin and 2 land. Oh, Jace. Jace, my guy. You found us a Terror Tide. Okay. That means let's attack with everybody. Get 2 Gix triggers. We get Founding and Enigma Jewel. Oh, okay. Alright, we got a Terror Tide here. So... Alright, and we've got a Founding in hand. Alright, new plan. New plan. Slaughter Singer. Jawbone Duelist. Opponent empty-handed. Okay. Alright. Let's see. Alright, none of those leave anybody behind. Let's go Founding. Let's see. If we start on 1, I don't know if we can manage all these tokens with what we've got left over. I'm wondering if we can tide here. I'm wondering if we can tide enough to stay alive in multiple turns. We're going to go for it. All right, let's reuse the Terror Tide with Founding. We'll recast that. Yes. Okay, board wiped again. Enigma Jewel. And we'll just pump up Jace a little bit. So the Hive's now going to hit our opponent for 3. Plays a land, draws with the Fair Basilica. Plays out a 4th Hive, oh my. Okay. Well, I think we got to craft the jewel here into the Locus. We're going to go Jace out of the grave. Sorin, Gix, and... Not sure it matters too much for the future. We're going to take those 4 and keep our Jace on board. So, what we can do is use Jace's -3 ability. That's going to get copied. So that takes care of 2 tokens. And we should be able to use the one under the Lotus as well. Sorry, the Locus. And hit the remaining token. So our opponent's really not going to be able to attack us and gain any life. So now their Hives hit him for 4. We just need 1 more turn. And the Terror Tide plan might work. We just got to stay alive. Opponent attacks. Does no good. Okay. Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, good game. Wow. Can't believe that. All right, I think we can keep this. Ever since I switched to blue and black, Shuffler's been very kind to my opening hands. Alright, opponent plays a Proving Ground. You may have noticed my opponent's avatars are awake for a change. I actually turned off the mute setting on our opponents, and there's a lot less salt than there used to be. For the most part, people are pretty nice. Let's Edict on this cookie. Tough Cookie's actually pretty good. Let's play out Kaito here. The ability to make a food token into a 4/4 is just undervalued, I guess. At least with the amount I see the cookie on the ladder. Opponent plays out an Epicure, hits us for 1, and makes a blood token. Okay, and then Voltage Surge on our creature. So a Jund deck that cares about having artifacts on board, so may have... not Foundry, may have the Anvil in it. Let's do a little looting with Kaito. let's discard River. And, yeah, let's just pass it on back. Got Riddle up as a counterspell. Or as a nice impulse for us. Teething Wormlet. Okay, well, I mean, if you keep them small, we've got Terror Tide for this board, so play out a couple more smalls. Like we're antiquing, like we're raiding storage warehouses, storage units. Keep the smalls coming. Annihilating Glare. Alright, that destroys Kaito. Luckily it doesn't exile it.
That's some serious counter-intelligence.
Alright, well, let's Riddle then. Grab something and put the rest in the graveyard. Underdog, Founding, and Gix. I think I want to take Gix. It's going to be nice to put Gix down after we tied and start drawing some more cards with it. Let's see. Do we need to tide? It's only got a pair of 1/1s on the board. Yeah, I don't know if we need to. Our creatures are actually scarily better than this board for now. And the opponent doesn't appear to have any kind of reusable artifact creation for the worm. Opponent with the Huntsman's Redemption, creating a beast token. Alright. Alright, opponent, what are we doing here? Alright, passing it on over. Let's go ahead and Demolition Field. We'll take out that Proving Ground. Just another permanent in the grave for us. Gonna get us some basic land out of the library. Grab a swamp. There's a jewel off the top. Alright, couple more turns away from that. Alright, so what's the order here? Definitely playing out the Blast Zone. And then, yep, I think we can tide. No sense in attacking, I suppose. And play out the Enigma Jewel here. Alright. So untapped land off the top means we can activate Jewel if we have enough in the grave. Ugh. Yeah, we are short of stuff in the grave, unfortunately. Alright, well, we can play out Sorin. Let's reveal off the top. A March? Yeah, that's a great one. And just pass it on back. Might as well get some value out of Sorin before it goes away. Huntsman's Redemption falls off the board. Not able to give any +2 to anybody. Opponent has Annihilating Glare for Sorin. Alright, well, I'm not sure that's enough activated abilities there. Yeah, we're still short. Alright, I think we can get away with this. Let's play Gix. Let's blitz out an Underdog from the graveyard. Get in and essentially draw 2 cards thanks to Gix. Alright, Underdog goes away. There's a Siphon Insight. Alright, that could be good. Opponent cycles away Takenuma. I saw a Sheoldred there. Yep, I pulled that one back. Let's see. Sorin, Kaito. And that's pretty much it. So we do need a couple more things down there for the Jewel. Opponent plays the Voltage Surge on Gix. Alright. Let's see, we could Siphon and see if there's something good we can play. Wormlet. It's fine. It's not the greatest. And then, Yep, let's go underdog one more time. Play out Wormlet, why not? Knock our opponent down to 14. Pick up another underdog, okay. Alright, Sheoldred hits the board. Well, let's draw. Let's see, we'll play land. Let's blot out on our opponent. Make him sacrifice Sheoldred. That leaves us mana to play out a regular underdog. We can attack with the Wormlet, and we'll have mana up for flashing back this Siphon Insight. See if we can't pick up a Sheoldred of our own from our opponent. They lay down the Sentinel of the Nameless City. 3/4 that comes with a map. Alright. What do they find? Just a land. Alright, let's Siphon. The Huntsman's Redemption. Well, we do have a few creatures on board. I suppose we can make a beast with that. Alright, what do we got here? Gix. Sorin. Kaito. Alright, 3 permanents for the Jewel. Let's see. What do we want here? Yep. We're going to march for 5 on the Sentinel. Gain us a little bit of life back, since we've been paying for life with this underdog. Might have to pay some more in the future. And that leaves us 3 for the Huntsman's Redemption that we just stole from our opponent, giving us another beast on the board. Opponent's got Henrika. Draws a card, goes to 8, and plays out a tough cookie. Alright. Well, that messes a little bit with the combat math. Let's sacrifice the Wormlet. And grab a Gix. It is another permanent with an activated ability. Play out that. Let's go attacking. Let's see if our opponent blocks any of these. Alright, just one. We could have blitzed out both of these underdogs that we had in the grave too, but I don't think that would have been enough. Yeah, we might have been short with that. Alright, let's go Jace then on Henrika. So they could flip it into a lifelinky creature. Let's go Invasion, just to draw the card. Alright, another Invasion. So yeah, I don't think we could have finished them there with all these underdogs. Let's see if they flip Henrika and go lifelink mode. That could put another wrinkle in this situation. Oh, and they had the food anyway, so the underdog plan might not have worked. So they do flip it. That's interesting that it retains the -3/-0 from Jace. Let's use the Huntsman's Redemption on these 2 creatures. Oh, that gives them trample. Alright, well, we're going to need a little bit more. Let's blot out on the opponent. That should get rid of Henrika. And yeah, we'll play out this underdog. I don't think I'm missing anything, but just in case, let's all attack here. So I don't think there's any profitable way for our opponent to block and survive this. And no other tricks that I missed. Alright, good game.